Welcome back to Roosters Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest for you right now. He's played 304 games, made 18 Origin appearances, represented both Australia and Tonga, and last week he bagged a try, first one in a long time as a red, white and blue star. Very warm Roosters Radio welcome. Michael Jennings. Jenko, welcome, mate.
Hey, fellas. Thanks for having me.
11 years ago, I rang the club and said, can we get an appointment with Michael Jennings? And it's turned up. We're so happy. So happy to have you. Mates, we get to know our players on Roosters Radio, and I think so many fans just marvel at, some of our great players, and you're definitely in that group. But I want to take it back. 2012, you're at the foot in the mountains. You're playing with, the Penrith Panthers, a very strong club. You're making Udbooks that popular. That's how good you're going. The decision to come to the Roosters, how did that come about in that year?
I was kind of on the out at Penrith. Gus was doing a clean out at down in the Riff, and I wasn't part of the plan. So in the preseason, I just me and my manager just were shopping around, and it was out of Rabbitohs or Roosters, and I sat down with Madge. Madge was the coach then, and I had lunch and stuff with Madge, and he told me he wanted me at Souths, and he was a great man. I went to his house in Coogee, and we had lunch and had a good chat. But then I think a couple of days after that, Freddie calls me.
Pull out the big guns up.
Yeah.
The old Penrith connection.
Yeah.
Well
just
done.
got a random call, I was just like, oh, who's this? And it was Freddie, and I was, he was pretty much, spoke to me how good the club is, the lifestyle, and where do I see myself playing my best footy. And at the time, we had Piercy and James Maloney, and I played with Piercy growing up, and I found that I'll get my best footy and best early ball and a lot of early ball and space with Piercy and Jimmy. So that kind of tipped me over to come over the Roosters, and then we the team that they signed are a few players that signed that year, Sonny, Jimmy, the side that year was something special.
I was going to ask you about that. It's special for us as Roosters fans. It's special for you as a player, and you've played in some special teams right across different clubs at State of Origin level with Tonga. Can you describe that year? You had an outstanding year. You scored the winning try in the grand final. It's well documented. How did it feel on reflection now, looking back, How did it feel to play in a team like that?
Oh, it's just, I think being my first year, and it was so good to be a part of a team that started to build a culture that is still here today. The standards that we set back then in 2013, and the culture that we built back then with Robbo, it's just so good to see that, that culture live on until now. So,
Jenko, can we describe that culture? A lot of our fans are in business. We come to the weekend to see, you're our heroes, and we come to watch our heroes go at each other like gladiators. Some were good enough, some weren't, depends which pub you go to. But, they're in business, and they like to, sort of, I suppose, benchmark against what is the Roosters culture for their own lives, but personal life, their kids. What is that winning culture you talk of that's still in place, and what's the secret?
Just that the high standard that each individual sets on the players. We have high standards. We have high standards here where no matter what player, all your ego needs to be left at the door, and you need to live by those standards week in, week out. So and doing that consistently, seeing that, and that's what I mean. It's just it's such a winning and it's such a winning culture. And it's good just to see it still here.
Mate, how much influence has Robbo had on that culture? Because 2013 was his first year. A lot of people probably forget in his debut year he wins the comp. And I suppose to the playing group, it was sight unseen as well. He'd been over in France. I suppose you had a bit of a break and then you've come back. What's he done for this club, Trent Robinson?
Oh yeah, he's the one that started that rebuild, and then to set the standards here at Roosters. It's all Robbo. He's so hard. I think he's very hard, and he's very detailed on everything that he does, and that's what makes him such a great coach. Is that he's very detailed, but also very hard. But he's also a very caring person as well. So he's got it all, I guess. But it's good to see that he can be a bit not as hard all the time, which is good.
When we look back at that team, there's still a couple of your old teammates running around, like Jared, who you'll touch on, and old Toops on the wing. I mean, to think 11 years ago you won a comp and there's still blokes playing. We interviewed Junior a couple of weeks ago and we kind of had the same discussion, but the fact that, blokes like yourself, Jared Warrior-Hargraves, Daniel Tupou are still playing at the highest level, I think that in itself is an achievement.
Yeah, that's definitely an achievement. It's good as well. It shows you what kind of a club this is, that you got players that want to come back here and play, or you got players here that want to stick around as long as they can. So, we're a very old team if you think about that.
Experienced, I reckon, too. Yeah.
A very experienced team, yeah. But Toops and Jazza, they're still going. They're still killing it. They're still going well,
and they're arguably in the top percentage in their position. Like Toops is doing the same aerial, gymnastics he was doing 11 years ago, and he's the best at it. If not the best, he's top 3, right?
He's definitely. I'll put him number 1 in the air easily, and his work ethic out of the backfield, man, it's unreal. And then you got that experience of Jazza in the middle. It's good to have that. It's good to have old heads in and the experience on the field.
I think, Jenko, in 2013, we were pretty excited when you come to the Roosters. We all saw at Penrith it was probably coming to, a time where, for you maybe a change was a good thing. But the way you applied yourself as a Rooster just won the hearts and minds of fans. You just said, man, I don't care what jumper I'm wearing, this is how I play footy. And therefore everyone got behind you doing that. And you talk about that winning culture. You inspired many, but what inspires you here, now or back then? What inspires you about the place?
I think it's just because for me, moving and changing teams was probably one of the hardest things, because I didn't see myself playing for anyone else but Penrith, and then making that change was probably the best thing for me. It just opened my eyes to a whole different place, whole different world, and then did my 3-year stint here, and I can honestly say that, I kind of found a home here. If I found a home, the fans are great. I was chanting. It's funny because my kids now, they're always saying, Jennings, a Rooster. and my kids are yelling, sorry, my kids are saying that at home now, and it's pretty wholesome. It's pretty good.
But I think as a Roosters fan, I think we saw the best of Michael Jennings, if I'm being honest. Across your career, I think he best football.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Panthers, he was pretty electric.
Yeah, but he was younger then.
You hit your straps here, I think it says so.
Yeah. I found more. My success. I found a lot of success here. I was played good footy for the Blues, and plus making the Oz team and stuff like that. I found a lot of success when I came to Roosters.
We are going to talk about that, but one of the topics that, what we find, Roosters Radio, we're not on NRL 360 or, we certainly ask the hard questions, but we want to talk about overcoming adversity. Everyone in the club speaks so highly of you. You've got the full support of the whole club. So is everyone who has any troubles or whatever. We all fall in troubles or hard times. What have you learned about, the times you've gone through, the down times? There's plenty of good times and celebrations, but what have you learned about yourself and what's your key to overcoming adversity?
Yeah, I think, during the 3-year suspension was probably, one of the toughest things that I've been through. Like just mentally, it was like one of the hardest things I could go through. And I just remember, I went and got some therapy and stuff like that. But the only way I could get out of those dark times was myself. I could get help from everywhere else and find I can talk to whoever I want, but then when you're in those lonely times, I think the only person that can get yourself out of it is yourself. So, also my kids. So I had my kids. That's basically my main motivation to come back and play. To play and keep going and keep the body going is my kids. It's funny, they don't know it, but they've saved my life. I think I've said it before. If I didn't have my kids, I probably wouldn't be here today talking to you guys. So I owe it all to my kids, and I think I'm just blessed now that I'm in this situation now. If I look back a year ago, I wouldn't even picture myself being here talking to you guys, talking about football, or having my kids come to footy training. Like it's just it's so surreal.
Thank you so much for sharing that, mate. And you know what? It puts everything in perspective for everyone in the world. But people go through hard times. If I started talking about what Silky's got up to in the past, mate, we'd all be, having a laugh. But in all seriousness, it's such a powerful message that I think sends to everyone that there's always a way, and then having that why and having your kids, it's really appreciated.
Yeah. That you're spot on. Is having your reason, and I had a big reason, and that was my kids.
Well, let's jump to it, mate, because 12 months ago, almost to the day, you're here probably having a beer in the grandstands watching the boys play. It was the 2013 reunion, and you kick on into town and you're having a drink with Robbo, and there's a conversation formed between yourself and Robbo. I think he's asked you, what are your plans for the future? Do you mind just sharing a little bit?
Yeah.
Because that was the start of you being in front of us here today, right? So I think for the fans, I'd love to hear how that came about.
Well, it was funny because I was watching, the boys were playing Manly, and I remember sitting there and I was like, man, I envy these boys, man. I want to be on that field, and I want to have that feeling of winning a game and the feeling of being around the boys. And I just remember sitting there going, we'll see what happens. And then the next day we had a team, a reunion brunch, kind of like a late lunch with the boys.
It was a piss up. Come on, Jenko.
We got a few questions around that too, Jenko. So thank you for being so eloquent.
Yeah, that was a
good old fashioned piss up. So
it was a fair few beers getting around. And then Robbo, just asked me, what's my plans? Have you thought about going overseas? And I go, oh man, to be honest, I've got no plans at the moment. Don't know what I'm doing. And he said, he's got connections in France if you want to go over and play in France. I go, oh yeah, I'll see. But I'm just, at that time I just didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't think about coming back and playing footy. I just, I wanted to get my life sorted first. Everything outside of footy, I wanted to try and clean all that up before I even think about playing footy. And Robbo goes, said, what's your thoughts on coming back, back home to the Roosters? And I go, yeah, I'd love that, like if there's an opportunity. He goes, yeah, there's an opportunity. And I said, yeah, I'll take it with both hands. And then I said, we'll talk in the morning when we get sober.
Well, on that note, what's he like on the drink, our coach? A lot of our fans would like to know. He's always so composed and measured, but please tell us he's a bit of a punishable drinker or a character. He's flicking someone's ear or...
Nah, no comment. No comment.
So fast forward to 2024, you haven't laced a boot in 4 years, basically.
Yeah.
You turn up, there's a new head of peak performance, and every one of the players that we've interviewed this year has talked about how tough pre-season was this year. You're on a train and trial, I think it's 8 weeks. I believe you're about 10 or 12 kilos heavier than the Michael Jennings that's standing in front of us now. What was that like, mate? Because I can just imagine how brutal it be, particularly since you're just out of sync with it all.
Yeah. I think being 3 years out and being 12 kilos overweight was physically one of the hardest things, I think. But that was I think that was the hardest pre-season that I've ever been through. That's like taking the factor that, my age, being 12 kilos heavier. So that, for me, that was the hardest pre-season. But all the other, like you said, all the other boys said, that was one of the hardest pre-seasons. And I'll tell you what, it definitely was. But I had so much to gain, from doing this. So I had no complaints. I loved every minute of like the preseason, because it's just, I had 3 years out. Like, it was tough, like very tough, but I didn't really complain too much, and I enjoyed every bit of it.
Part of it is the mental game, right? Because he could have tapped out and quit and just said, I'll go back to driving trucks for my brother, right? But
I think there was a few moments where I was about to tap out. When we were running the hills, I kept saying, "Oh, Robbo, I think this is me. I'm done. But I think whilst when I was playing 3 years back, you kind of, I think a lot of players are guilty of this, of taking it for granted, because we are, as athletes, we're so blessed. We get to I was just talking to our physio guy. We're so blessed. We've got physios, we got food, we get lunch provided. We do a couple of hours of training, you stay fit. And you get a day off, you get massages,
play the game you love.
And play the game you love, and then you're shown on TV, and you're loved by a lot of you're loved by a lot of people, and it's some people, like I was guilty of it as well, is that you do kind of take it for granted, and I think the good thing now for me is that I can see that, and I've just right now just appreciating every little moment here that I have that training.
Jinko, some players, every player in the field has a different position and a different role. Yours was scoring tries, and last couple of weeks you get over the stripe, and how did that feel? After 3 years off, and that's what you're known for.
Yeah,
that must have been special for you, special for the kids and the family and everything else as well, I imagine.
Yeah, no, it's always good to get a bag of try, but it was more getting my body up to standard, because I haven't really had a good kind of preparation, or I've been 18th man a couple of times. I've just been dragged into the team last minute. So I think coming into this week against Parallel, I had a full week of prep where I could actually get my mind wrapped around playing, and so I just did that full week of prep, and then just felt really good going into the game. For once, felt really good. Wasn't so sore, and just felt good. But
you touched on the 18th man. I think it was against the Bulldogs where you were 18th man. You came back on. It must have been quite surreal because at 18th man, you more or less resigned to not playing, right? Then the tap on the shoulder, mate. You get on there.
Yeah.
The fact that you're back playing first grade, what was that feeling like? It must have been quite emotional for yourself to actually, you're back on the big stage.
Yeah, I think the boys call me the 18th man curse because every time I'm 80th man, someone's going down and getting injured. So yeah, Robbo, don't put me 18th anymore. We don't want any more injuries. But yeah, when I was 18th man for that time playing at Doggies, it didn't hit me until. Like I was warming up, I was like, I'm about to play. Like, I got to get the body right. I was just stretching up, and then it didn't hit me until the side official goes. He says to me, "Mate, good luck. I'm so happy that you're back, and like, good to see that you've made it." And I just that moment with that side official, that was it just kind of hit me that you know what, like. I did this for the people that like the people that I let down in life for the past 3 years is the other people that I'm representing, and that just kind of hit me there, and I was like, shit, sorry.
Yeah, we get smart. All right.
So I was like, damn, I'm about to play first grade, and then I just remember looking up the sky, and I was just like, yeah, just enjoy this moment, and then yeah.
Then the following week, it's your 300th game, a milestone game. You were so close. You're at 298. You probably thought you never would have achieved that milestone. 51st player to ever do it. And I'm assuming we haven't got Dave Middleton here, but the first of Tongan heritage to do that. So that's another first for your family to be proud of. But and there's some great support at that game too. What was it like to run on for the 300th?
Yeah, no, it was... that's probably something that I'll cherish for a long time. Just to walk out with my kids.
Yep.
That was a very special moment. Yeah, and I think my whole like mind process when I was like coming back to play, or like me thinking, like having a visual of me playing, it wasn't actual having a visual of playing. It was having a vision of me walking out with my kids, or the kids coming out onto the field and just giving me a hug, and that was the moment that it's really hard to explain. It's just such a special moment that I could cherish, and I'm glad that I could do it with my family around.
Yeah, at the end of the game, and the players all got round you. That was a real magic moment, if I don't.
Yeah.
From a fan's perspective, and for you, and the people that support you.
Yeah. That's really all that I wanted, was my family, my family, my kids, and plus the boys that really pushed me during the pre-season to get to help me get to where I am now.
Chenko, representative career, it's well documented, everything from Prime Minister's 13, Tonga City Origin, New South Wales, Australia, and of course the NRL All-Star game. And they're all different, but they're still representative games. I want to just zoom in, it's very topical at the moment. Origin, your first Origin. What is it like, as a player, as a Rooster, to get that call that you're going to play Origin? Then what's it like to play Origin?
Yeah, I think getting that call, you just, I think you straight away, you got nerves straight away. You're just like, about to play on a big stage against like some like grown men that have been playing the game, and they're so good. They're such good players, and then just the whole week, the build up is it's unreal. Yeah, like back then, the build up was, you're building up so much hate for a state. And then when you actually get out there, it's just like, and you just, you got the feelings is, you can't really explain it, but, my actual first game, I tear my calf. So then I played the whole game with a torn calf, and, was all, like, went all right, played all right, but, after that game, I missed 6 weeks. So then I missed the whole Second game, yeah, then the third. Then come back and played the third game, and we won that one. But yeah, I think just the whole week building up to Origin is that's the special thing.
The great Arthur Beetson, our greatest Rooster ever, showed what he felt of his fellow teammates when he bashed Mick Cronin in the first Origin, playing for his homeland or his hometown, playing for his home state of Queensland. Is it like that with you? I mean, you got other Roosters that you're playing with and against. Everything goes out the window, yeah?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, someone that you're so close to that 2 weeks earlier you're doing weights and dancing with in the gym, having fun with ball work, punch his face off, right? So back was the old days. You want to, smash him.
No, it's right. It's a funny story. I don't know if you've seen the Superman punch that I've done in in Origin, and I hit Brent Tate.
Big target.
Yeah.
Target.
So funny story. That after that incident, then we go into Oz camp, and he's in the team as well. And then they call them the emus that will back up players, and the emus usually always go out and have a few beers because they're not playing. So, and me and Tatey were. We were always out and having a beer, but I remember him saying to me, for someone that punched me in the back of the head, mate, you're actually all right guy.
Mate, playing for Australia, growing up in Blacktown, coming through, Penrith and coming to the Roosters, but you get to represent Australia. Must be proud of that, but you also must be equally proud of representing and the powerhouse that Tonga has become.
Yeah. I think when you first play, coming through the ranks, you always want to play at the highest pinnacle, and Australia and playing state for your state. I think that's a great achievement. But I think when you represent your heritage and where your family and your ancestors, I think that's such a powerful thing.
Spiritual, eh?
Yeah, very spiritual. Very spiritual. I don't know what I'm saying. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. But very, very touching. And I think it was 2019. We were the first team to beat the Oz in a test match, which was also.
That'll be my next question.
There was a game in New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
And the crowd going mental over it. I remember the game.
Yeah.
But there was a big lead up too, if you recall. All of New Zealand got behind you. They wanted to see the Aussies win. But I remember that game was a daytime game when you won. Fafita had a blinder.
Yeah.
But I remember the game clearly, yeah.
Yeah, it was at Eden Park.
Yeah.
And we call our fans the Red Sea because it's just the whole stadium's just full of red.
Yeah.
And the hymns and the songs that they sing, like you just have you get goosebumps and you just get a feeling. You just get you throw an extra leg when you hear that and when you see your fans cheering for you like that. And then to actually win it and beat Australia our first time was something very special.
Unbelievably special. What happens when you step off the plane in Tonga? Are you just mobbed? The boys have become like rock stars.
They are.
If you play for Tonga, you're a rock star in Tonga.
Yeah, so each family, they set up a float. So it's like the float where it's that for us it's like a big truck, and then I have on the back of the truck, and then they decorate it and decorate it.
They throw you in the back,
and then each family does that for each of the players, and then they just do a whole parade of the whole of Tonga and just drive around, and you see all the people that just come out to cheer the Tonga team.
Is it the national sport over there?
No. I think
rugby's still number one.
It's rugby's still still number one.
Now, I'm going to change gears a bit now because we've got a few questions It's called the Set of Six with Jenko, and these questions have been vetted, and they come by the fans. So I'm going to throw a couple your way. Jenko, favourite try in your career?
The grand final, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
2013, yeah.
Who has been the hardest person to tackle?
Greg Inglis.
How's the body feeling?
Sore at the moment. Yeah.
Who was the strongest in the team?
Bobby. Younger Bobby.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Robert Toya. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have much to do with him? Because I know he's a centre coming through. There's big
Yeah.
raps on him. Is he kind of a young kid that you kind of try to mentor and bring along?
Yeah. I mean, because I've been in the rehab group for a couple of times, and yeah, because we're similar kind of build as well. And he's obviously stronger than me, but obviously, yeah, have our chats, we talk, and definitely helping him out on the field. It's more about just getting confidence into it because he's just had a few setbacks. So, hopefully you see him back on the field soon.
Now, mate, what player was your greatest inspiration growing up? Who was one you looked up to the most?
Favorite player? So I didn't really watch footy when I was younger. I didn't really watch footy. My next door neighbour, not neighbour, but a friend of mine that lived a couple of doors down, told me about footy because I had no clue what league was. Yeah, told me to come try out for his team or come play, and so he took me to this. I think maybe 8 or 9, about 8 or 9. Took me to down the park at Havisham Park down in Habbo, Mount George, sorry, and played my first game. I think I scored about 5 tries, so they're like, yeah, you made the team.
Makes it easy, doesn't it?
Yeah. But no, the rest is history, I guess, from there.
But I guess as a young player, I mean, thinking back to that era would have been early 2000. There was like Ryan Girdler was a centre. Like, I would dare say you're growing up, you would have been a Penrith fan, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't really. I was a Canberra fan.
Were you?
Yeah. Yeah, I was a Canberra. Me and my brother were both Canberra fans because our dad got us the Super League Canberra jersey, and like we didn't know at the time what team it was until. And Laurie Daly was a player that I liked. Yeah, I really liked Laurie Daly. But when they had Mal Meninga, like the team that they had back then, like was just I think that's the reason why I went from, because they're winning. So.
And last one, mate, it's a good one. What's your favourite cheat meal?
Favourite cheat meal? Cookies.
Cookies, yeah. They would have been few and far between in that pre-season.
You've missed a few because you've dropped 12, so...
No, cookies. My son tells me all the time. Yeah.
Mate, comparing this team that you're playing with at the moment and, that successful team in 2013, do you see any similarities? They seem to be on a similar trajectory. I know we had a good win against South. We had a good win against Para last week. Are there any similarities between the team at the moment and what you had when you talked earlier about that great side back then?
Yeah, I think there's definitely glimpses of similarity between that 2013 and this team, but I guess just the flair that some of these players have, and I think me being older, I just I'm just sitting back enjoying every moment and seeing the quality that this team and the players that I'm playing with. I'm just like, man, and like I'm sitting back in awe, like, damn, I'm actually playing, with Teddy, and these are the players that I was watching a year ago down at the pub envying them, like, oh, man, I wish I could play with them. Just envying their talents, and then I'm actually, in the same room as them and training with them, which is, it's just crazy how things can just turn out. But there's definitely similarities. I see the high standards that these boys hold, and the hard work, and how hard Robbo is on the boys. I think we're on a very good path this year, and I think the boys are just going to keep getting better and better.
When you look back on your career, it's fast forward 5 to 10 years. What will you be most proud of?
Just not giving up. Yeah, I think I had 3 years out where every day I just wanted to give up. I think getting to this point and just not giving up on my kids, giving them something to look up to and be proud of, and I'm just this is definitely me making a comeback was definitely the most proudest moment.
Well, mate, we're super proud to have you in here. It's taken us 11 years to get you into this podcast, and you know what? It's inspirational on many different levels. 36 years of age, playing first grade. I mean, we've all got history in this club. We wanted to play one game. You've played over 300. And as fans, the Roosters fans, we want to get to know our players. And we've learned so much about you today. And we just hope that your great form and inspiration will continue into the future. We know it will. It's a great legacy you leave for not just other players like Robert Toyer and stuff, but the fans. So thank you so much for spending time on Roosters Radio.
Thank you, Rob,
and sharing your stories.
Definitely, I want to thank the fans for giving my kids a bit of joy. They come home and saying Jennings is a Rooster, and just stuff like that. I'm very blessed, and thanks.
Let's give the kids a quick shout out, eh?
Yeah, quick shout out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So to my kids, I just say, you guys saved me. So
what are their names?
Carter and Ivy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well said, mate. Thank you so much.
Good on you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Really good. Really appreciate it.
No worries. Good to hear.